Greetings, everyone. Chill stream tonight. I had to wear my blue shirt, my blue chill shirt for my blue chill stream. Get those cool color tones going on. Chat's talking about how many stars we got in the territory battle. Looks like a lot of people are setting new records, getting tons of watt shards. That's good stuff. Gotta love getting those watt tambours going. That's a really nice character to have, especially if your opponent doesn't have one and you do have one in Grand Arena. That definitely gives you an advantage for an underdog team somewhere. All right. Satanico says, just found your channel after starting Swigo. Enjoy all your videos. Hey, cool. Well, welcome to the channel. Welcome to the live stream. Hope you're enjoying the game. That's fun. 1,200 crystals on Negotiator. So tempting. Yeah. Is that still going on, or is that was that a one-time deal, or is that over, or what? I don't even know. Don't even know. Hit a 28 speed health primary set on the triangle today. Oh, nice. 28 speed. That's nearly max. That's got to be what, 5-5, 3 5s and 2 6s, something like that. That's some strong performance on that mod. 28 speed, huh? I got a 27 on my Loquitur account. I think that's the best mod I've got so far. What Negotiator are available for crystals again this week? Oh, wow. It's coming again in the next week's shipments. Some folks were posting about it in the Swiggle Facebook page. Wow. Wow. So that'll be 2 weeks in a row or 3 weeks in a row? I'm losing track of time. 2 weeks in a row? 3? I think that's 3 weeks that it'll be in there. Maybe it's just going to be in there from now on. Wow. Crazy, crazy stuff. Letting people get ahead in the game for crystals. I don't mind that people can spend money on the game to get ahead, but there's a few things that sort of gate people from going too far too fast, no matter how much they spend. And I kind of like that. I kind of don't like if they give away Negotiators and Watt Tambours for shards. I don't know how the rest of y'all feel like that. I feel like, even though it would help the Loquitur account to be able to buy those things, but I would rather have some things that you just have to play to get. Roxy Bros here, glad to catch a stream. That's cool. It'd be the 3rd week, says Midge. Nice. I got all my Geos to 7-star today. They're all Gear 8 though. Hey, 7 stars Gear 8 still okay. Got to have that before you can have Gear 9. Gear 10, 11, 12. They still have Chiati Mundi gated. Yeah. I think CG is watching your streams, Geospy last month and now Ahsoka ship. They're just filling in the blanks with stuff that I like. That's funny. I feel the same even though I buy the shards. Yeah, that's cool. Arva's popped in the channel, says hello there. Probably won't stay long. Well, Arva, if you won't stay long, it's like 12:30 your time, right? It's already like almost 1 o'clock in the morning. So, yeah, I understand if you're not here for long. These evening streams have got to be rough for the people that are like 5-6 hours different. All right, well, for topics tonight, I didn't have too many questions in the Discord for me to answer, so I think I'm just going to answer some generic general questions. We can talk about mods. You know, whatever questions you guys got, just start throwing them on over in chat, and we'll talk about it, because there's not really an agenda today. So maybe do an account review or two and look at some stuff and then answer some questions. It's 1:37 here. Oh man, it's 1:30 in the morning. 7 hours different. Woo! If CG is watching, ask them for Piet shards next month. Everybody gets a Piet. That would be awesome. Everybody gets a free Piet. Mitch says it's nearly 1 a.m. Sleep less than Darth stream. That's funny. At what point would you say an account is ready to start on a Galactic Legend farm, says Arva? Depends on your definition of start now, doesn't it? So I think the moment you start the game, you can start on a Galactic Legend build. Let's say you know you want Supreme Leader Kylo Ren. Does that make it okay for you to start grabbing First Order shards out of the gear stores? Yeah, sure it does. You know, if you get Poggle bought up out of the Galactic War store and you really don't have another target for your next Galactic War currency, can you start picking up your First Order guys? Absolutely. I mean, if you know that that's what you want. How soon should you start working on these characters in earnest, where that's your focus and you've put aside your Geos and put aside your Jedi and all that stuff? That's honestly, if you're in a good guild, if you've gotten your Geos up, you've gotten into a decent guild, you're happy with where you're at over there, if they're happy with your roster and you want to start working on a GL, that's fine too. Ideally, I think, honestly, the best path for me is the Gladiator path that we've already developed, and going into SLKR or going into SEE from the Techno Union. I think, honestly, those are two excellent ways to develop your way into a Galactic Legend. Should you do it skipping Phoenix, skipping Geos, and just go straight in for the Galactic Legend? That's where I would say no. You don't want to do that. You give up too much on fleet currency, you give too much up on Galactic War performance. So yeah, that's where I would say definitely stabilize your accounts, work your Geos and stuff up to a point where you're happy with fleet and you've got a good guild, and then work on your GL if that's what you want to do. Hard to answer that question because I think different people are going to have different answers for that. Aiden says, I'm checking into our condo at the beach. I'll catch the replay. That's cool. Wish I had a condo at the beach. That would be awesome. Besides the hyperdrive bundle, is it worth to buy crystals or individual character packs? It's definitely worth it to buy crystals, and using those crystals just for energy refreshes throughout the game. So buying these crystals here, let's see, get the Loquitur account going up over here so we can look at some stuff. So if we want to buy these crystals and then use those for our daily energy refreshes here, that is one of the most efficient uses of crystals in the game. There's a few pieces of gear out of the shop that cost 15 crystals per shard. I consider those to be also very efficient. So if you do all the math behind crystals and figure it all out and how much it takes to farm it, just clicked off all that stuff. This comes out of the shop for 300 crystals. That comes down to 15 crystals per shard to make this piece. So that's a good one. Let's see, is this, yeah, this is another one. These you can buy, same thing here, you see 10 for 150, so you can see that they cost 15 crystals per shard. So those are good. So those are the two things that I would say buy with your crystals out of the shop. Otherwise, you're going to use your crystals for refreshes. And then the other best way to spend crystals, or not crystals, the other best way to spend cash starting the game is to select a completed piece of gear, find it in here, and there's these $89 and $29 gear bundles here out of the hero's journey, if you can convert whatever's in these bundles to the value of that pack in crystals, it's about 3 times as much. So this $30 worth of gear is worth about $90 worth of crystals. This $90 worth of gear is worth about $250 worth of crystals. So these gear packs here, if you just want to spend cash for gear, this is the way to do it. This is the way. You know, spending crystals over here, 1,400 for one of these, or you could come in here and buy one of these gear packs where there's 2 of them and a whole bunch of similar gear. And if you take 14 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. I can't do 17 times 14 in my head that quickly, but let's say 16 times 15 is close, right? So that's 80,000 crystals worth of materials, just generically, which is, yeah, it's $300 worth of crystals. It's a lot. It is a lot. All right. Nabokov is in here. Nabokov, how come your name is still Nabokov fan? I really thought you were changing your name to Piet fan. When is that going to happen? When do we get Piet fan 87? Okay, I should probably say for me the right starting point is when Arva's answering the question about starting a GL. I should probably say that for me the right starting point when I stop working on other teams and focus all my resources into that GL farm. Yeah, I think that answer is going to be different for a lot of people. Because if you get your Geo's Wat Tambor ready and you're satisfied with the rest of your account, you can go for it. If you think, man, I need a little more in the Jedi, it's hard to know, you know, when is it good to stop working on those Jedi? Because you could always relic one more character, man. If I get that Grandmaster Yoda to relic, I could have 3 relics on that team, you know, JKR and Bindo and also the Yoda, and that team would be better. And then as soon as you do that, you'll think, well, I could also relic Bastila. So it's a slippery slope, and you got to make the decision at some point. Yeah, so that's interesting. It's a good question. I don't think I have a hard, firm answer for it. Nick Wilson said, I think my account will be ready for me to completely focus on a Galactic Legend when I have the DAR Malak team ready. So you're saying get the Malak team going when that's doing well in Arena, then I start on my GL. Pate21 says, which team to build first, Jedi, JKR, Imperials, or Clone Troopers with Shaak Ti? And the answer to that, Pate, is what path you want to go down. So if you want to play a PvP path, look at the Gladiator videos with the JKR stuff in there, and then that's the right thing to do. If you really want to get income, getting those Imperial Troopers up and running so you can do assault battles and a bunch of different events is going to get you a long way. And then the Clone Troopers team with Shaak Ti is pretty much a territory battle thing that gets you some kind of waves in light side Geo territory battles, as well as potentially the Wat Tambor mission, good raids. So whichever one of those 3 things, they all do different things. One's PvP, one's income, and one is raids and you know, guild stuff. The Techno Union path is secretly the Gladiator path with trying a bit more. Malcolm says, Darth Loquitur, what do you think of modding Malak to be a faster than DR? For references, my DR is 349 and my Malak is 323. I don't have enough experience with that. I don't have a Malak on either one of my accounts. So I would think with a Darth Revan team, there is a very valid reason to make your Bastila and your Malak faster than your Darth Revan. I think as long as Bastila is faster than Darth Revan, it works out. If Malak is faster than Darth Revan, I'm not sure how much that matters. Maybe somebody else who has more experience could answer that. One of my other guys. All right. How do you stay motivated to play? Because recently I've been super bored. Roxy Bro asks a good question. How do you stay motivated to play? And there are days where just playing the game kind of feels like a chore. And it's probably the opposite for me as it is for most people. Because, I want a game. I want like a hobby, something I'm doing in the background. I like the long, grindy games like Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes where, a lot of time and effort over a long period makes, a difference. I like that. What I don't want is I don't want the game to be too intrusive. So there are times when you get Grand Arena going, Conquest going, Galactic Challenges going, and a territory battle is going on, and you've really got to play the game for like 3 hours a day. And then it starts feeling like a job. Then you're like, man, this is supposed to be a game. I don't want to be in here playing that. And the other thing I would say is that if you're in a tough arena shard and you have to do the climb every day, there's some days where you're just not going to feel like climbing. And if that's the case, just don't climb. Don't worry about it, Take the hit for a day and, don't get your rewards and whatever. Who cares? Like, just go back and do it tomorrow. So that's what I would say. If the game feels like a chore to you, just take it. I would say log in at least once and get your daily rewards. You don't want to miss the free daily rewards, but yeah. I would think the second thing that motivates me, like we've got this Dooku here, and he's ready to go to Relic, and I need to see that. I want to see him going to Relic. I've got these long-term plans. I've got account development that I want to see happen, and that motivates me to keep playing the game because I want to see that guy go up. I want to see the second Zayd on Mon Mothma. I want to get my Emphas Nest going. Like, I get these little goals going, and then even if the game feels grindy, like, oh man, I don't want to play Conquest today, but I really want the loot box. So I got to go play Conquest. I want this guy. I want 6-dot slicing materials. So I think that's the two things that inspire me to play. Just, the seeing the development, the account, and the fact that I want the hobby anyway. I don't know if that helps, but that's my opinion. All right, let's go catch up on chat a little more again. Dan Roy says, I started an account yesterday using your guides, and I'm going to follow your plan only. Already at 34. Nice. Nice. All right. Arva says, basically, that's they've been talking about lots of stuff over here. So Arva is saying he's doing the gladiator path, but he's going C because the troopers are more fun. Nabokov says, then you ain't a gladiator. Oh, nice. So he is a gladiator. I mean, honestly, both Revans into Sith Eternal Emperor with the Imperial Troopers team, ain't nothing wrong with that. The way Arva built his account, he didn't really need that gap between Jedi Knight Revan and Darth Revan because he got himself into I don't want to set people's expectations that they can get into as good of a guild as Arva got into, but Arva got into an excellent guild and is able to cash in a heck of a lot of guild event tokens, and so was able to push his Malak faster than most people probably will be able to. And he didn't need the gap. So in the gap, it's good to farm the ships and do SLKR. He didn't need that gap. He goes straight into Sith Eternal. Nothing wrong with that. Nabokov says, I don't recommend C. Arva says, that's basically the crux of the question I posed. When do I pull the trigger? Right now, my thought is I finish out my Darth Revan team with relics and then get the C farm going. Because you're building a trooper team, Arva, it doesn't really matter. You just, if you start building the characters for the C journey, you're just going to find very natural transitions. Really, you are. You're gonna start building that trooper team, and then as you start building up Dooku and Maul and the other Sith requirements, you're gonna find yourself with a Sith team, and then you'll just have a few of the scrubs left to finish out, and you'll be done. So I don't think you'll have any problem managing the transition at all. You're just transitioning from your Revan's team into an Empire team into a Sith team, and then close out C. All right, Vader and Emperor Palpatine. I can't keep up with as fast as you guys chat. Just like having one Anakin shard doesn't mean to build the Negotiator and Padme. Isn't fast Malak harder to counter in 3v3? Fast Malak is harder to counter, but I don't understand. I don't know the mechanics of why you would want your Malak to be faster than your Darth Revan. I understand very clearly the mechanics of why you want your Bastila Shan to be faster than your Darth Revan. So there's a counter in 3v3 that uses Thrawn lead. And we've got Thrawn somewhere here. We can look at Thrawn, right? Uses Thrawn lead. And Empire allies gain 20% turn meter whenever they resist a detrimental effect or suffer a debuff. So when Darth Revan goes first, he'll hit the tank, and that'll give fear to Grand Admiral Thrawn, which gives him a debuff, which makes him go pretty much next. He'll take an immediate turn, and he'll lose that turn immediately because of the fear. But then he's at 0 turn meter, and fear is gone. Then when Bastila does her thing and puts buffs, debuffs all over everybody, he'll either get or resist 5 debuffs. It'll immediately be his turn again. He can use this and pass the turn over to Vader, dispelling all the buffs on Thrawn and Vader and giving him a turn. So that in 3v3, that team specifically counters the mechanics. If you put Bastila faster, she'll hit him, he'll get the extra turn, then Darth Revan goes, puts fear on the tank and fear on him, and you're just done. Now you're waiting. Making Malak faster than Revan, I don't know if that adds anything to the composition at all. Having a fast Malak means he still probably goes before the opposing team. I think that's all it's needed. All right. Malak can be faster than Darth Revan. Both need to be fast and keep squads tight. That is to have Malak dispel a pre-taunt and then open up for DR to fear the leader. Okay, so Griff is saying you want Malak to go first and open up and get rid of the pre-taunt. You also open yourself up to other counters. Yeah, Vader works a lot better if you don't put tenacity on your Malak. Vader becomes much more of a threat. Sometimes it's nice having a lull in the game so we can catch our breath. Yeah, exactly. All right. I think I'm going to stick with my current modding because I don't see too many powerful Vaders. That's fair enough. Alright, let's see. Man, reading the chat, seeing people give advice is lovely to see. Same on Discord. Darth, you have a fantastic community. Midge, I can't agree more. I don't know what I did to deserve such wonderful fans, but man, I really think that we have an amazing community of smart people, curious people, and really an open format for people to talk about things and not get judged or told that they're stupid or whatever. So yeah, it's great. It should be comfortable. Hyper 69, I really don't want a Relic Veteran Han, but I have to. Veteran Han is sneaky. He's low-key really good. Okay, here's what you can do with Han at Relic level, especially if SLKR is your first Relic and you don't really have that good of characters, right? So you take Finn Oh, I get my I can't remember all these guys. Ugh. I think it's this Finn, right, that just gives a ton of offense, right? Resistance allies have defense, offense, potency. So you can get this skill going, I think, up to 7 pretty easily on this guy. You know, he can be 2 stars, level 82 or whatever he needs to be, and just have the leadership skill, okay? And then you put that Relic level Han with him, and you put like one other character in it. And you take this, you can put it on defense, but you can also take it on offense, right? So you take it on offense, and you put that team in, and like in 3v3s. The AI will automatically kill Finn. When they kill Finn, Veteran Han just starts taking turns. He takes like 2 extra turns as soon as that happens. And he does tons of damage. And he has an area effect that he'll do first. And then he'll do a basic second. Resistance, rapport. So he gains critical damage whenever that leader takes all this stuff and winds up. If the leader is defeated, Han gains 100% turn meter, cools down as a reset, and he takes an additional bonus turn after his next turn. So he goes 2 turns in a row. So you can kind of use that as a weird little offensive team for him to just crush the other guys. Or you can put that on defense with a bunch of like garbage, you know, make a decent veteran Huggler. I call him Huggler again. I don't know why I can't say smuggler. Like veteran smuggler Chewie just a little bit. And you put these guys in a defensive team, and they're almost always going to kill off the leader because he's weak, and you know he has 4 hit points, and all you have to do is 1 AoE and he dies. And then these guys just go crazy and steal a bunch of banners. So it's not horrible. It's not horrible. All right. Adam says, would you recommend a sea rush? I would not. Well, it depends on how you look at things. I mean, I'm always going to recommend stabilizing the account. Jedi, Geos, a little bit of something for the Empire to get started, build that Geo fleet, get the fleet currency coming in, and then go for Sith Eternal Emperor. That's fine. I just don't recommend walking into the game, building the troopers, and going straight for sea. What are you going to use for fleet? That's the question people have to answer for me. What are you going to use for fleet? If you say, I'm going to rush SLKR, I'm going to build Bounty Hunter fleet, and I'm just going to go straight into the First Order fleet, that can make a kind of sense. You know, you can do that. But with Sea Rush, what are you going to do for fleet? You got to build a fleet first. So for me, that's what has to happen. You have to take time to build Geos, build a good fleet, and then you can go right into that Sith Eternal. Like ice, Joey to go. So Joey's saying he applied to 10 guilds and got into a 240 million galactic power guild, getting 27 and 13 stars. Joey, that's exactly what I keep telling people. You just got to put in the time and effort and energy to try. You know, get over there on the recruitment site, and you just put in enough applications, and some guild is going to look at your account and go, man, looks like you know what you're doing. You got decent teams, you got decent mods, come on over. Let's get started. It's not too hard to get. Why do I see 68 people watching and only 19 likes? Oh, we got a few more likes. I can always put up the public service announcement for likes. Get out your like sabers, slash it, smash it, crash it, crush it. Whatever you got to do. Getting rid of that like button helps me, helps my channel. Moose Man's in the house. That's cool. Hyper69 says, I'm 3 requirements away from SLKR. I'll probably get stuck behind the finalizer because I need like 40 more shards. Hyper69, you know you can buy those shards, right? You just save up your crystals, and the next time the finalizer event is in the events, there will also be a pack in the shop where you can buy finalizer shards for crystals, And if that's really the only thing holding you back, you can finish it out. For someone with Negotiator and Malevolence at 7-star, is Probe Droid a good investment for Get To currency, or would you go gear? Rev James, I would say if you have both of those ships, the next thing you need to look at is your Rebel Officer Leia Organa. Once you want Jedi Knight Luke, that's going to be a sticking point for you if you don't already have her. If you've got her built, then Imperial Probe Droid is a neat little thing to have. It's got a dispel on it, which there's not a whole lot of good dark side characters that can be fast and have a dispel like the Imperial Probe Droid. So it's useful at higher levels in certain grand arenas against certain teams. Yeah, it's not bad to have. But I'd finish out the Rolo first. Alright, I have Gear 10 Tarkin and can't get past the normal 5E fleet. They literally uses alt in less than a minute. How much more do I need to invest to get Tarkin past this? Using Gear 10 plus Geos. Beskar Bandito, the answer to your question is a lot. 5E normal is the gatekeeping on fleet. I was probably, I'm guessing 5 months in. Probably 5 months into the account before I got past that node. Let me see. Let me go back and look. I think I can bring this up. I think I can bring it up. We'll go back and we'll take a look and we'll see in my 6 month timeline. Maybe I said something about it. Lord Czar says I did it with Tarkin Gear 11. You can do it with Tarkin at low gear. You need one of two things. You either need a tank that's good enough to just soak all of those initial hits from those TIE fighters, or you need a ship with so much damage that you can really take out one TIE fighter or possibly two in your first round. If your first 3 ships and capital ship goes and you've killed 2 TIE fighters, you can win it. So you either have to have hot offense or you have to have like a good hound's tooth or something like that to tank all of those little shots. All right, so what have we here? Timeline: 6 weeks in, 9 weeks in, 12 weeks in, no mods. Let's see if I say anything about it. Geo's at 68k, level 85, 600 tickets a day. It's week 23. Okay. So let's see, what did we... I know I said something about it in here. Oh, here we go. Yeah, 5E normal. You need a big tank or very high damage. Week 26 is when I got to 5E hard. So I didn't say exactly when I got through 5E normal, I guess. But I'm guessing it was like week 20 or something back here. Probably like between 4 and 5 months in before I got past that node. It took me forever because I was working on the Geos, but I didn't have a tank any better than Sunfac. I didn't build Hyena Bomber like I should have, and my Hound's Tooth wasn't getting built fast enough to take on 5E. So it took me a while. All right. Mariano says, you're my favorite Swiggle content creator. Very chill and friendly, chill, and informative. Hey, thanks. Appreciate that. I'm starting a new alt account for fun, and I hate Phoenix. Which route should I go free to play? I also hate Phoenix. I hate Phoenix so much that if you go back and you look again, since we're in the 6 month review, I'll just go back and show you. For anybody who doesn't know, I plan to build my whole account with no Phoenix, right? Phoenix were not in my plan at all. Rebels, not Phoenix. All right. Since then, I've changed my mind. Thrawn is too useful. You need him for a lot of stuff. Phoenix are only ever good at the beginning of the game. So if you ever have to build Phoenix, you ever have to touch them, you want to right away. You want to do them right away while they're actually, in fact, at least some teeny tiny bit useful, and get all the use you can out of them, and then park them and never look at them again. I had to circle back around on my Darth Loquitur account and build them later. You don't want to have to build them later. Build them up front while they're still at least a little bit useful. Again, that's my opinion after having, played through it. Yeah, I believe it's really good to go Phoenix. Gives you a Rebel team, gives you a Palpatine very early on. Gives you a Thrawn potentially very early on. Put Vader in there, and just with those three characters, you've got a stable Empire team. I've been missing that in my Grand Arenas for a long time. I don't have Thrawn. Didn't have the Emperor Palpatine. It didn't stop me. Would have been better if I'd have done it earlier. Do you think we'll get more characters before the next Galactic Legend? I think they're probably thinking about money and the pacing of the game. And you say to yourself, how much money can we pull out of people without them getting mad that we're milking the cash? And I think 4 to 6 month time frame. So if they put out one GL every 4 months, I think people would feel like that was pretty fast paced, maybe. But I would say 3 GL a year would be my guess. I would think that they would target something like 3 Galactic Legends a year. So if we're seeing Kenobi now, I would expect before the end of the year we'll see another Galactic Legend, and then we should see another one early on into 2022. I don't know why my mind thinks of these things sometimes. 2022, so next year. That'd be my guess. If I was running the business side of the game, I'd probably do a Galactic Legend every 4 or 5 months. That gives you enough time for it to get stable, for people to play some Grand Arena with it. Not long enough for the meta to get stale. We'll see. All right. Lord Czar says, yeah, Houndstooth was really important for that 5e fleet node. Anakin or Vader's ship as a reinforcement work because of the retribution. Yeah, get a good ship with retribution. That can help a lot. And the reason why he's saying Anakin or Vader's ship, for anybody who doesn't realize right away why that's what he's picking out, both of those ships retaliate with a basic attack that can't be dodged. That's the key to it, because those are dodgy little ships, and every time they dodge, they give advantage to the capital ship, the enemy capital ship, and both of those basic attacks can't be evaded. So that's why you want to, look to those two ships as reinforcements with a good chance to do something useful. Finally got Hyena to 7-star after force farming it since level 80, and Vulture Droid is 15 shards away. Man, the Hyena Bomber is so strong in early fleet. That is like, it's such a tough tank to take down, and it can shoot behind taunt. It's just excellent. Thanks for answering. That note is stressing me out, burning like 20-30 energy a day to try to see if I can beat it. Yeah, I mean, I just ignored it for a long time. I knew I couldn't beat it, and I didn't even bother with it. Yep. All right. So what Ray T says, why do you need Thrawn early on? If you love Grand Arena, Thrawn is just a good character. There is nothing else in the game like Fracture. So let's say you're playing against, I don't know, let's just say a Padme team, right? You could either fracture Kenobi, or you can fracture Padme, or you could fracture Anakin. Any one of those three targets being able to use Thrawn and take their ability completely out of the game, and especially if you can fracture Padme, game over. Your Empire team, then your Vader just carves through everything, right? If you can fracture Kenobi, it means that he can't have taunt till that fracture is gone. It's just it's a unique skill that can help put you over the top in some matchups that you might not normally win and give you control. If you want to know why Thrawn is so good, refresh my memory, guys, but I think if you go back and you look at the interactive Grand Arena that we had with NQA Howl, he came in with his Empire team against a team that should have been quite challenging for him to beat. And he just used a very low galactic power Thrawn to control one of the key characters. I can't remember whether it was Snowtrooper or Spy or whatever it was that he was controlling with the Thrawn. But that was the difference between being able to beat that match with a very low galactic power team or needing, more than he had. So Thrawn is a real equalizer in early game stuff. It's a want, not a need. It's not like you need Thrawn to drive the account forward and you can't do assault battles unless you get him. It's not something crazy like that. It's just if you like PvP, he's just really a good character to have, and the sooner you get him, the sooner you can start using that to your advantage. All right. Would it be worthwhile putting a relic on the clone sergeant for fleets? Absolutely. Later. Putting a relic on clone when you still have, like let's say you were in the situation that I'm in this account and you said, okay, I'm going to relic that clone sergeant. Okay. I mean, I got a lot of uses for him, right? I could just walk right in here in Conquest. I'm using him already in the Padme team. And you could say, I don't really have a good fifth for the Padme team. I'm going to relic him and drop him right in here on my Padme team. Okay. If you've got that good of a use for him, and you're late enough in the game that makes sense, that's good. But if he's one of your first 10 relics, then that's a bad decision. Because there are just so many other characters in the game that are going to be better for you to relic than this guy. Take him to Gear 11, Gear 12 if you want to. Put 6 dot mods on him. That's good enough for a long time. You're going to use him as a reinforcement all the time anyway, so getting him to relic levels can wait. It's good to do, but it can wait. There's other things that are a lot better relics early on. All right. I still wonder if your theory with a relic Ezra and trash everything else could be could beat the Thrawn mission. I may try that someday. I may try that on an account just to see if we can. I don't think so though, because Thrawn does a lot of damage, and if all your characters are garbage when you do the actual event, all your characters will get killed off very quickly, and then Ezra will get fractured. And once Thrawn fractures him, even at relic level, then I think you just take so long to get your turns in that you probably lose. Because he can't counterattack, he can't do anything while he's fractured. So, yeah. Now, I think you'd have to have at least 2 characters. You'd have to have a relic Ezra, and then you'd have to have either Chopper or Kanan, one or the other, big enough to tank, so that they would be the ones getting fractured instead of Ezra. Then it might work. It might work. All right. I used Sunfac double stun for 5E. So what Joey the Goat's talking about with the Sunfac double stun, if you use Sunfac's reinforce ability, he comes in and stuns a character, and then you can target somebody with a buff and use that and stun a second character. That might be a way to get through it. When should I start farming the Hyena Bomber? You should have started already. If you're asking me, if you're asking me this question, you probably should have started the Hyena Bomber already. So with any of the paths, with the Loquitur Beginner's Guide, I don't pick out the Hyena Bomber there because at least for the Senator path, you won't be farming the Hyena Bomber, so you can't cross that over from the beginning path into everything that you might want to do. But for most of the paths that will go Malevolence, you want to be farming the hyena bomber as soon as you can get to it, more or less. And if you can't commit to farming it every day, then make it one of those things that you farm every time when it's, hard node energy day, or, spend energy day or whatever, and do your refreshes and get the hyena bomber. It's definitely worth getting. All right. Tarkin Gear 11 Max Unique is very helpful and necessary to stay relevant in Fleet Arena. So this is more advice for getting through 5e. The key for me was the unique on Spy and Sunfac, strong enough to survive. Gear 11, Gear 12. Nabokov says, Loquitur, I'm going to run some tests with somebody, use my maxed out Thrawn with low gear Empire to show the mechanics in the Zeta, and see if we can get some content that way. All right, that'd be cool. Yeah, show us what Thrawn can do. That's nice. What's better for a 1 million galactic power account, the BTLB Y-Wing or Clone Sergeant's ARC 170? The BTLB Y-Wing is by far a better ship. So if you ask me which one would I want, well, the BTLB, you can make the ship without making a pilot. For the Clone Sergeant ship, you don't have to farm anything. You'll get the Clone Sergeant out of Bronzium packs. You'll be able to buy the ship out of the shops super easy. So in terms of the Clone Sergeant, the reason why it's so good early game is just because it is so easy to get. It's a very low resource buy. But the BTLB Y-Wing at 7 stars is always going to be a better ship. Definitely. Joey says, I got a Gear 7 Thrawn, and the Fracture alone is great, not to mention the protection, recovery, and turn meter swap. Yup. Oh, I'm back on the timeline screen. Okay. Yeah, sorry I didn't show. Okay. I was behind on chat. I had it scrolled up a little bit. That's why I've been behind. All right, we're scrolled to the wrong spot now. Or to the right spot. Can't dodge when you're stunned. Nice. Full Empire fleet is working really great for me. I got number 4 in fleet. I'm level 84. And the number 1 spot has full Relic 8 fleet. Full Relic 8 fleet. Wow. So Joe Cool. I'm level 84. Did you commit to the Gauntlet Starfighter? What are you using for your full Empire fleet? I'd be interested to know what your lineup is, because typically that Empire fleet won't perform that well unless you've got the Gauntlet Starfighter. If you committed to that early game, that's pretty cool. But by level 84, I wouldn't think you'd have it finished already. But yeah, let us know what your lineup is. Oh, you did commit to the Gauntlet. Nice. Okay. That's good. I can send you my ally code. I mean, we can look at it if people want to. If people want to see that. I don't mind. If you're part of my Discord, I'd appreciate it if you dropped it over in Discord. If you're not part of the Discord, you can just put it in chat if you're comfortable with that. I mean, I don't mind if other people don't mind. While we're talking about that, I want to go through something with you guys real quick. We've had several questions in the chat about being level 60 and what should my account look like. And we've got this account, Detlaf Irithane here, Mini. And he's, I think, level 65 right now. So just past 60. And I thought his account was a pretty good representation of how this beginner's path looks. He's doing the gladiator stuff. And he's at level 65, and he's followed it pretty much, what we said for a little over a month. So galactic power is at 190,000, and you see he's got that split between characters and ships. And of course, this early on, it's hard to have tons of ships. But you can see he's got the stuff started. He's got 2 and 3 star ships. We're working our way up, and this is what I remember from being around level 60. I mean, this is where you start, right? You have low star ships, and you have to deal with that. Characters, I remember my characters being 4 and 5 stars. But here you see at level 65, he's already got 6 stars on Hera, Soldier, Spy, and Ezra Bridger's already at 7 stars. So when I started my Loquitur account, for the first, basically until level 61, there weren't double drops. So this is what the account looks like with double drops. And at level 65, he's already got 6 stars on a lot of these characters. So, my answer was, at level 60, we're looking at maybe 4 or 5 stars for these characters. But this goes to show that, if you've got the focus and you dig in and follow what we're doing, yeah, he's got the Phoenix going. He's got the Geos going. This is exactly what you would hope to see at the top. We got Moff Tarkin here at 5 stars. And he's working his gear up already. Pretty good stuff. Right? So that's an example of what the account might look like 30, let's say 40 days in. Let's just guess. We'll guess that this guy's like 40 days in. So that can give people an idea of what they're looking at, and might help. All right, let's see if put his ally code over here. Okay, let's go check in Discord. See if he put it over there. Let's see. Okay, I don't see it yet. Okay, well, if he sends me the Discord thing or the ally code to look at his account for the Empire fleet, we can do that. Might be interesting. Lord Czar says, that's me. That is you. That's you. Took me a year and a half from when I first started playing, but I'm finally getting 400 crystals from fleets. Yeah, we want to get it before a year and a half. Okay, Joe Cole's talking again. It totally transformed my fleet when I unlocked the TIE Advanced, since it has the non-evadable debuffs. Yeah, getting the, can't be evaded on a skill that gives target lock for the Empire team that relies on target lock. It's a big deal. It's really a big deal. He said half a year. Oh, I read that wrong. A year. I thought it said a year and a half. It took half a year. Yeah, that's about right, because if you're like free to play or relatively cheap to play, you have to get past the people who bought hyperdrive, and there's going to be people who bought hyperdrive, and that's perfectly okay. But yeah, taking about 6 months to get past all the hyperdrive people and get number 1 in fleet, that sounds about right. And I think that's good, because I think that can also help set expectations for people where they know, you're not going to be claiming number 1 in fleet 3 months in. I hit 85 and I'm number 1 in fleet. You might do that if you bought hyperdrive, or if nobody in your entire fleet shard bought hyperdrive, which would be weird. That would be weird. Half a year. Yeah. Sorry I misread that. I don't face any negotiators, though, since my shard is really new. You will. Yeah. And but I tell you, okay, honestly, I'm in a fleet shard that's pretty developed on my main account. And there's a guy who has the Empire fleet in my shard, and the negotiator boys struggle. They struggle against this guy. Is this him? This is it. This is the fleet right here. So he's got the bomber, the TIE, the gauntlet, and then he brings in Vader as a reinforcement, and the shuttle, and the extinction bomber, and maybe Houndstooth or something like that is his last reinforcement. So he's loaded up with good reinforcements, and he's got, I mean, this fleet fights at like 540,000 galactic power or something like that. It's a crazy, yeah, these are his, this is it. I mean, this is the fleet right here. TIE Advance, Gauntlet Starfighter, Emperor Shuttle. So the TIE, the Gauntlet, and that bomber are first, and then he brings in the shuttle, the TIE Advance, this extinction, and the Scimitar. That's got to be his last reinforcement. And the negotiator guys struggle to beat it on offense. This team holds its own as a defensive fleet with the AI against negotiators. You do have to commit to high relics on this Gauntlet Starfighter. That's your punishment. But everything else about this fleet is fine, right? This is just part of the Sith Eternal requirement, so if you ever get C, you're going to want that anyway. This character hits hard. It's not a great character, but if you just put him in a team somewhere to pull the trigger on his basic attack and fry people, he hits hard. This ship hits hard. So I don't even consider that a punishment. These two characters are really the only bad thing that you have to build for that Empire fleet. It's a strong fleet. The only problem is that you have to build these characters early on, which is kind of a stinky way to spend your resources. All right. May have been answered already, but how many crystals to bypass the finalizer requirements? I believe, if I remember correctly, it's 1250 crystals for 10 finalizer shards. So it's upwards of $150 worth of crystals if you just bought the crystals and just bought the 5-star finalizers straight up. But what I've recommended to people to do that have good income from fleet, get your 400 crystals a day, save, a couple hundred of them, and you can save up 4,500 a month, and every time it shows up, make 3 purchases, and you'll have it in 5 months. If you've already unlocked the event and you've already worked on it, and you've got the 4 stars from the event itself, and then you've completed the event a couple times and you've got 30 shards, and you need 35 more shards, well, the next time it comes up, you can complete it one more time and buy 3 sets of shards and be done with it. So that's... I'm probably over answering this question. People can probably figure that out. Nabokov is back. Big TV is hooked up now. This is much bigger than my 11-inch TV. Nice. Jokul says, how do I join the Discord? Click on pretty much any other video in my channel and you'll see the link to the Discord and you can get on over there. Don't those characters become half decent with the Mandalorian tag? No. Not really. I haven't seen any evidence that Gar Saxon and the Super Commando are good. And again, I mean, it's at best, it's going to be like a C or D team. I mean, the leftover First Order stuff is better than the Mandalorians, like under Bo-Katan right now. It's pretty awful. But yeah, it's the cost of admission. It's like the Rose Tico and characters like that. You need to build her to get Rey, and if you want Rey, it's just a price you got to pay. Same thing with Supreme Leader Kylo Ren. You've got a couple duds you got to build. With Sith Eternal, you got the Guard and the Darth Sidious you got to build. So that it's the same thing for fleet. If you want this awesome fleet, there's your punishment right there. Got to build that Gauntlet Starfighter. But that guy's fleet is great. That's, you know, he gets number 1 on his payout, and he doesn't drop down much at all. Now my First Order fleet just crushes this. I mean, I just come in, run circles around him, kill the Gauntlet Starfighter, just nuke all of his stuff, and so the First Order fleet destroys this. But it's really strong against Negotiator, from what I understand. All right, DJ Scrim, who do you think I should be my next Relic 8? I DM'd you on Discord. Well, I don't know if I want to do that. I've got some account reviews I'm behind on, so I can't look at your stuff ahead of other people's account reviews. That's probably not fair. But if you don't know who to Relic 8 nest, Vader, any Galactic Legend, characters that benefit from a ton of extra stats on offense and health. It's not that many characters that really get put over the top by Relic 8. Or Relic 8 Kenobi. It's very safe to Relic 8 Kenobi because you need it for the requirements if you ever want Galactic Legend Kenobi. Alright. Is it possible to rush gas? Mariano, the next video that we do, the Senator path, the build path for the beginner guide called the Senator build path, is going to be basically how to just start, stabilize, and go directly into gas. That's what we're going to talk about. Is it possible to rush gas? No. Just think of it this way. If you rush gas, you get a 5-star gas. And you still have to get all your guild event tokens to get him to 7 stars. And also you have to build a trooper team to go with him. So there's no rushing gas. You need Ewoks, you need Separatists to get Padme, to get... I mean, you need all of this stuff to get gas, and then you still need to build the clones. Minimum like 5 teams that you have to build. Separatist droids, Padme, Separatists to get Padme. I guess that can be the same as your Separatist droids. So you could build the Separatist droids into Padme, build the Ewoks into C-3PO, the Troopers team. Then you need some other requirements. So yeah, I guess it's not that many teams, but it's a lot of stuff. And then, like I said, you're still waiting on your guild event tokens to finish him to 7 stars. So it's much better to do the beginner's path, get the Geos, get the Rebels, get the stuff going, and then you build the clones right away under Rex lead. And then you build some of the other requirements into a Padme team, and then you build the the Separatist droids. Then you get gas. Then you finish out your clones. That's how I see it. Gauntlet in the starting lineup is interesting since I thought its enter bat ability was too good to skip out on. Yeah, the Gauntlet, well, again, the Gauntlet at Relic level. If your Gauntlet is weak and it doesn't have a lot of hit points, then you can't put it in the starting 3. But as one of the starting 3 and just putting that buff immunity out right away on the opponent's housed tooth is sick. Yep. Darth Loquitur, the music just hits a peak. Sounds good. Levels are good. Nice work. Okay. Glad to know I got to calm down. All the teams you build to get gas are pretty good. Absolutely, Martin. Absolutely. Midge is going to sleep. Good night. See you later. Destroy the like button, everybody, says Midge on the way out. Yeah, one of these, right? Get the lightsabers going. What would you say is the minimum level to effectively use the Gauntlet ship? I mean, you can build those characters up just a little bit and use it as a reinforcement. But it's best in the starting 3. So very early game, you can probably put Vader in your starting 3 and bring Gauntlet in as a reinforcement. Later, you want Gauntlet in your starting 3 and bring Vader in as a reinforcement. So what's the minimum level required? I think of it like Plo, right? So I built Plo Koon's ship and I put it at 4 stars and I just added some stuff to Plo and got it going. Because the reinforcement ability is good enough that it was good enough. And then I built it up over time so that it became a ship that doesn't actually just come in and die. So yeah. But you got to keep going on it, right? So just like Plo, you can't just build the ship a little bit and then stop and then do something else. Like once you've committed to it as one of your ships and one of your reinforcements, as you go longer in the game, you have to continue to build those characters and continue to build it up, or you'll start to lose your rank and fleet. So yeah, if you want the Gauntlet Starfighter, you have to be prepared to put some resources into those characters, for sure. You can't just leave them at 3 stars and expect it to keep working. Hey Loquitur, what would you consider the top 5 worst ships? Top 5 worst ships. Alright, let's see. Let's see what we've got for worst ships. Man, I don't know. So, I mean, you look at a ship like Xanadu Blood. It's not too exciting. But it's still okay, right? Because it comes in, it has a decent reinforcement ability, it calls an assist right away, so you can do something with it. Jedi Consular Starfighter. If you build this ship up, you can even use it as one of your starting 3 in a Galactic Republic fleet. This thing is low-key bonkers powerful, right? And nobody wants to build this Jedi Consular, and nobody really wants to build, you know, because of that, nobody really wants to build this ship. But this ship is strong. The reinforcement is good. The ship is good. You can, like I said, you can even put it in the starting 3. Surprisingly good. All right, so Radis. Radis is going to be one of my least favorites. I feel like the endurance is an okay. Man, I don't know. So this Resistance X-Wing ain't that great. I like a lot of ships. They all have their uses. I'm struggling. I'm struggling to think of another ship I don't like. I don't have much experience with the Sith fighter. Maybe it's bad. I don't know. I haven't played with it. So we'll add it to the list because I haven't played it. I don't know. We'll see what other people say if anybody else chimes in. All right. Nabokov is giving advice on the next Relic 8. Malik. Big attackers. GL requirements. Malik, Sith Trooper, Bosk. Those are all good choices. I was thinking 5s or Anakin. 5s. No, I don't think so. I mean, 5's tank stats don't go up so much on Relic 8 that you would care about it. And Anakin does what he does at Relic 7. So I don't think those characters are that awesome. Kylo Ren Unmasked is definitely, for me, I Relic 8'd him, and I feel like he definitely pulls his weight as a Relic 8. He's a pretty sick tank at Relic 7, but where is he? Yeah, my crew is Relic 8, and he tanks. He's just a beast. The reason why I did Relic 8 more than anything is because it allows me to put more defensive stats in his mods. So I get all the health that I want from the main stats, and then I could use a couple defense sets here and pump up his defense by another, 50%. So I felt like that was a pretty nice way to be able to mod Kylo. So basically his Relic 8 kept his health at 100,000, 110,000, and I was able to add back a bunch more defense to make him just stocky. I have enough for another Relic 8, I believe. Don't I? Let me look here. Let me see what I've got. Maybe Relic 8 this BB-8. Yeah, look at this. We've got enough for... Wow. Holy cow. We've got enough for up to 3 Relic 8s. If I ever want to commit. I need a bunch more of these, though. These are so bad on the exchange rate. Ugh. I hate building those. The scavenger is unreasonable with what he wants to trade for this. So yeah, I get a bunch of Relic 8s I could make, but that's the issue I have. I don't really want to Relic 8 anything unless it's a galactic legend or it really gets put over the top. So right now I'm just kind of sitting on those Relic 8 materials. I probably could Relic 8 the Sith Eternal Emperor, right? That would be a good bet. How much more stats does he get going to Relic 8? 60 mastery, more damage, critical chance. Does he get any more health? Yeah, here he gets health. 3,000. A little bit of armor. No health down here. I don't know. See, his stats just don't go up enough. Like, he's fine at Relic 7, and I don't feel like any of the stats that he gets are going to put him over the top at Relic 8. Nah. Imagine that you Relic 8 BB-8 all casual. Yeah, accidentally click go ahead. Oh, that would sting. Man, you'd see me like get up out of this chair and walk away. That'd be a pretty big mistake. Darth Vader says C is not bad but not phenomenal. Huh. Darth Vader, do you have a Relic 8C? Did you already put him on Relic 8? Did you notice a big difference? The Sith ship is terrible. Is it worth gearing up Ewoks to get C3PO for my CLS team, or just start on my Padme team? So Evan, it is worth getting Ewoks at some point. C3PO is a very good character for either the Padme or the CLS team, either one. It's a character you will want someday. So do what I do, low-key, farm it in the background. I've got Ewoks. I don't have my C3PO on my main account yet, because I always find something else to spend my resources on other than the Ewoks. But you know, Wicket is good to farm because his node has stun guns, so you can farm him anytime. Yeah, so if you want that CLS team to function at peak efficiency, then yeah, you do have to build the Ewoks. And the earlier in the game that you build the Ewoks, the better off you are, because they are at least of some use on defense and Grand Arena and things like that early on. You know, where I'm at 5 million galactic power on my main account here, I mean, Ewoks are going to do absolutely nothing for me. I hate the fact that I have to build them because it's going to be useless. I won't even be able to put them on defense. Unless I just want to give my opponent free banners. A free solo with Kylo Ren masked or something. Alright, let's check this out. Fives is amazing. He shares his stats with everybody when his dies. His ships gets better, and it will help for the cam event. So DJ Scrim, I'm not saying that Fives is a bad character, but I'm not sure about committing Relic 8 to him ahead of other characters that would benefit from it more. So it's not about whether or not he's a good character, but you know, I've never heard somebody say Fives needs to be one of the top 3 relics. Alright, Darth Loquitur, ships that are their own fleet, basically. Houndstooth, TIE Bomber, Falcon. My favorite ship is going to be Scimitar. Oh, for 5th place. The stats are C on fine, but the big reason for the R8 is for his unique. What am I missing? All right, let's go here. Let's look at the unique. That's the leadership. Okay. Linked enemies, 20% max protection, mount lost, linked enemies. What am I missing, guys? What am I missing? His unique. What does he get on the unique that's so much better? If no enemies are deceived, all the deceived stuff recovers 2% protection. Each linked enemy max protection quadruple against 25% of the amount lost. Okay. I don't get it. Just a 10% max health and protection per relic amplifier level. And you're saying that just 10% max health and protection are worth... I don't know about that. Okay. I guess. You want to see the DL happy dance since 5v5 is back? Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, just the 10% max health. Okay, yeah. Reduced damage per relic level. Reduced damage per relic level. What am I missing? Oh, it's just the max health and protection. Okay, yeah. Yep. Relic 8 CLS. Man, I'm like a CLS gimp. I've got the guy, but I don't know how to use him. I'm not familiar enough with the matchups and don't have the Zetas on him, and he's just kind of a... he's a project for someday. Rey has fallen into the same category. I don't know the resistance matchups and what she's good against, so... You know, as I get more characters built, I'll figure out what Rey is good for. Oh man, now I'm curious. I wonder what Relic 8 Queel would look like. Because he shares stats like a crazy person. I wonder how much extra stats you would get. Because he gets health here. He gets damage in 2 places. And armor. Maybe I'll have a Relic 8 Queel, who knows? Alright, so... Vader's saying 10% max health goes into fighting Kenobi now. Damaged... Okay, it's literally useless. Interesting. Loquitur, what is your top 5 Relic 8 in your opinion? I gave it to General Kenobi and SLKR only so far. Darth Vader, stop it with the Queel. Oh, Vader, man. As soon as I get Rey, the Galactic Legend, I'm going to relegate her too. And I'm going to have to listen to all of the stuff about how useless Rey is and how I never should have farmed her. And then I'm going to relic her 8. And then I'm going to have to listen to that part of it too. So who do I think is good at Relic 8? Vader is another character that I'm definitely going to want to Relic 8 someday, right? Because how much damage he can do when you're trying to do Vader things with Vader is critical. So getting this extra damage here and here boosts up everything that Vader does. So Relic 8 on Vader is a big deal. It makes a huge difference, right? Crew, Relic 8, just because it takes all of his tank stats and make him tankier. Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, Relic 8, makes him tankier. I can't comment on JML or Rey because I don't have them, but I imagine that those Galactic Legends are also obvious candidates for Relic 8. Nest. The reason why Nest is such a good Relic 8 is just about damage. She got extra damage here, she got extra damage here, and it adds up to something like 22% extra damage. And I think I mentioned this before, that sometimes when I was fighting Padme teams with Nest, I would time out. The battle would just go too long. Since I've upgraded her to Relic 8, I never time out anymore. So that little bit of extra damage was enough to push her up over the top. Sith Trooper, because of the way he works, his Relic 8 would also be a good thing, right? Damage in 2 places. And I did, Sith the Sith Raid Heroic. If you do the Sith Raid Heroic with like the standard PvP team for SLKR, when you get to the end of it, your SLKR has done stupid amounts of damage because of all the ramping and mastery stuff that he gets and all that stuff. If you do a normal raid like the Rancor raid or something like that, that's just a normal raid, Sith Trooper will out damage SLKR. He puts out that much damage. SLKR is always going to beat him if he ramps up. But the Sith Trooper just puts out sickening amounts of damage. Chupio might be worth a Relic 8. Just because of the way he works. Dark Trooper, of course, obviously I thought he was worth a Relic 8 because I took him to Relic 8. So characters like that you just are relying on for sickening amounts of damage, and they just are like, they do one thing in the game and the Relic 8 makes that thing better. That's my thought. Let's see if there's other characters that I don't have. Gas, I don't know, maybe somebody can comment. I would think Gas would be a phenomenal Relic 8 as well. If you got Gas to Relic 8, I mean, his damage is already so high. If you put Gas on Relic 8, you could probably just mod him for all protection and health and just give him tank stats, and his damage would still be ridiculous. All right. Vader says, I Relic 8 my Vader. Well, that makes sense if you're named after the guy. I love Queel's Relic Amplifier graphic. Yeah, the blurg. Please hit the red dot on Nest. Darth Loquitur, you have her at Relic 8. 40% turn meter for each enemy that... No. Why would I do that? I don't need that. That's a waste of 5 Omegas. Waste of 5 Omegas. All right. Clearing sector 1 normal equals 1 hard. What? DL, would you recommend I try for the hard conquest? I have full cleared normal every time. Do you have a galactic legend? If you have a galactic legend, go for hard. Absolutely. If you have no galactic legend, you may stall out on the higher sectors because those bosses can be really hard to beat unless you've got like a really good Jedi Knight Revan team. A certain Vader team, against a couple of them. If they change it up again, I mean, I'm just going off of what the last conquest was and the one before and just trying to kind of think it through. But hard mode, I think hard mode will be hard without a galactic legend. Now that said, you can clear a lot less in hard mode and still get better rewards than you would get finishing normal. So I mean, with that in mind, yeah. Why wouldn't you just automatically join hard mode? I changed my mind. Just join hard mode. Just go straight into hard mode and don't even think about it. Because the rewards are going to be better. Relic 8 Sidious. Darth Vader says gas is 100% worth it. Yeah, cool. Alright. To end the Relic 8 discussion, go to a character, hit the 3-bar button on the right below to show the mastery stats, And that's generally what I use to determine what is good or bad at relics. See, I am completely the opposite. I don't I don't care at all about the mastery stats. Wait, what? What am I missing? Relic amplifier. Click the bar. Hit the 3-bar button at the right below mods. This to show masteries. Oh boy. This? No, what? The 3-bar button to show masteries. So mastery. This? The strength, agility, and tact? No, what? Man, I'm lost. I don't know what you're asking me to do over here. Don't know what you're asking me to do. How do I get to that? How do I get to what you are talking about? I never realized that you can't see masteries on this anymore. Green text equals mastery. Okay, agility. Okay. Critical chance, critical damage, and damage. So you're saying just look at this. You're deciding what gets Relic 8 based on this. Really? Really? Oh. All right. That's why R8 is so crazy. The increase in mastery is one of the most important things. So, but why would you use that to determine what you're going to Relic 8? Honestly. Because if I go to Nest, for example, and I said, okay, I'm going to use that as the determining factor of whether or not I Relic Nest. She gets critical chance, critical damage, and damage as her mastery. So, okay, I want to Relic her. She could have garbanzo beans. She could be getting health, defense penetration, and some other random garbage that I don't care about. And I would still want to Relic her just because of the increases over here where we're getting the physical damage and the special damage increases to make her hit harder, right? Crit damage. I mean, just that's what we want. We just want Nest to hit harder. That's all. The only reason that I Relic Nest was to make her hit harder. It had nothing to do with her mastery stats. Let's put this theory to the test. Let's just go to Darth Vader. And let's say we went to Darth Vader and we said, okay, what's his mastery stat? Accuracy, damage, and defense penetration. And you're telling me that you can look at this and you can see, okay, I want to go from 45 to 60 for accuracy, damage, and defense penetration. And you can tell whether or not that's a good Relic 8. I got nothing for you guys. I got nothing. Because I'm doing it for this. I'm doing it for the damage increase. You know? Yep. Alright, let's see what people are saying over here. She gets extra damage from mastery, though. Yeah, okay. So there's two different things here, saying, but the comment was made, looking at mastery is how I tell whether it's a good Relic 8 or not. That's the comment that was made. So I want to know, just by looking at mastery, how we can tell that it's a good Relic 8 by looking at mastery. Accuracy, critical chance, and damage. That's not even what I care about with Sith Eternal, right? I would rather have this be, I guess damage is fine, but accuracy, I don't care about that. Critical chance, he doesn't win or lose based on critical chance. I don't even know if I've got a critical damage triangle on him. No, it's just offense. Just offense. And I put defense on his cross because I needed him to be a little tankier. He kept dying on me. That made a big difference in my survivability in arena. What am I missing? How is it that you can look at mastery and tell whether or not it's a good Relic 8? Accuracy, critical chance, and damage. These are all more or less the same. I mean, I understand that there's 9 different combinations of agility, strength, and tactics, and whatever the other 3 elements are. So there's 9 different possibilities. But why wouldn't you just look at the stats and see if the stats that are increasing are the stats that you want on that character? Why wouldn't that be what determines whether or not you relegate somebody? I'm baffled. All right, let's see if anybody explained it over here. Nabokov says the mastery stats are what's included in the relics. What I'm saying is what's listed in their relics will determine if they do or don't qualify for relics for me. Okay. If they are bad mastery, then it's going to be a low relic character for me. Meta characters are a different can of wax. Before, you could see the individual amount gained alone from the mastery. Now you changed it so you only see the mastery increase. Anything outside of mastery is the same generally for every character. Relics repeat a lot of stats. And that's why the C is the worst Galactic Legend at Relic 8. I only have 2 Relic 8s and most are underwhelming. Perfect example, C has bad mastery stats, so he won't be a Relic 8 for me. Now some mastery math discussion is what I like. Glorious G. You need to change that cross to health, says Vader. Loquitur, how long does it usually take to gear 12 up to 13? That's hard to say. That's hard to say. Going 12 to 13 usually goes pretty fast for me because I don't lock down any of my gear until I'm committing. So like Barriss Offee, like how long would it take me to Relic 13 her? You know, click a button and it's done. On the Loquitur account, even over here, I don't know how much of this we're going to be able to see because I don't have that many gear 12s. I think on Dooku, as soon as I hit 12 with Dooku, I already had 3 of these, and these took me 2 weeks to get. So I'll just use my standard answer. It takes 3 weeks to get to your next Relic character. So when Dooku is finished, Piet will be my next target, and he will go from gear 11 to 12 to Relic in 3 weeks. That's my goal, to Relic him in 3 weeks. I feel like it's a bad answer to your question. It depends so much on what gear you already have when they hit 12. 2 or 3 weeks. That's going to be my answer. 2 or 3 weeks on a low level account. On a low level account. Higher level stuff. I mean, once you're up at the 5 million galactic power level, like my main account, obviously, it goes much faster. Much faster. Hey, I've got a question for the chat while we're talking, so anybody who knows this can help me out. When Kat was first introduced to the game, right away, they put, over on Swigo.gg, they put a list of her gear. And then there came out a post of some kind that said her gear was wrong. It's going to be fixed. I went over on Swigo.gg just to look at what Kat's gear looked like. Does anybody know, is that gear over there now, is what's listed out, is that the correct gear? Or do they still have the original mistaken gear? Just curious. I want to know. Because if the gear that's over there for her is correct, it ain't bad. I mean, it's a lot better than I thought it was going to be. So I almost don't mind what Kat looks like to Relic. Nabokov says it's fixed. Yes. So it's fixed in the game. Is it also fixed on Swigo GG? That's specifically what I want to know. Is Swigo GG pulling the right information? C doesn't benefit from a defensive cross. How does C not benefit from a defensive cross? It's exactly what he benefits from. He benefits from that more than he benefits from health. I'm going to have this argument on stream. There is no way, no possible way in a million universes that health is better here. No way. No way. By the time Sith Eternal is taking damage on his health stat, things have already gone horribly wrong. The idea behind C, he has a lot of protection. He links people. This link is constantly feeding him more protection. This defense makes him take less damage, which reduces his protection less on every hit that he ever takes. It is exactly the right stat to make him more durable. You either want to stack protection on him because that's his gimmick, or you want to put defense on him so that every single hit the opponent does less damage to his protection, because you never want to get into his health stat. By the time your enemy's dealing damage to the Sith Eternal's health, you've already lost. All right. Yes, it is fixed. The answer to your question is yes, Nabokov. Cool. Awesome. Perfect. Nice. All right. All right. So, guys, let me tell you this right now. If you don't already know this about me, I love comments like the one that Vader made. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I can't get enough of this stuff. If everybody always agreed, where would be the debate? Where would be the discussion and the figuring out and all of that stuff, right? So Vader, you know, obviously people default to this and they go, okay, look at this. Like, you're crazy, right? He gets, where is it? Galactic Legend. He gets percentage bonus of his max health, right? So increasing his max health is going to increase his health pool, and it's going to make him more durable. And like, why wouldn't you increase his max health? That makes sense because of the way the character is built and the Galactic Legend bonuses and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? He's getting 70% of, so whatever this stat is, if it's health, he's getting another 70% on top of that. That's good, right? And I'm saying no. You want the defense because you already want the damage reduction when they're doing damage to your protection. That's how you make Sith Eternal tanky. And that debate is beautiful. So don't ever quit being that. And I may be proven wrong. Somebody will come out with some math and show me that I'm wrong. Who knows? But yeah, it's always a fun discussion. I love the debate. Does anyone remember where Loquitur did the geomodding for the Watt mission? I didn't do geomodding specifically for the Watt mission. I did geomodding a long time ago and made some mistakes in that video, so that's not the best video for people to watch. But I remodded Spy, I remodded Brood Alpha. Where I set my gear up, that was in one of my account updates. So it was in one of the account updates. I don't know for sure which one. All right, you found it. That's good. Did we decide that me? Did we decide that mastery equals relic stats yet, or is that still confusing? I feel like a little kid. I feel like the third grader who the teacher wrote an equation up on the board, and the kid's just staring at the board going, the boat left and I was not on the boat. So the relic stats determine whether or not it's a good relic. I still don't understand it, Nabokov. We're going to have to talk offline in Discord or something, because to me, I go to the character stats here, and I know what the character does, and I think about whether or not these increases that I'm going to get are hitting the stats that are really going to take that character over the top. That's how I see it. And you're saying that somehow we can just go in here and look at the mastery and we can decide that already. And I don't understand that. I don't understand that. Deflection, dodge, chance, health, and protection. That's everything that Jedi Training Ray wants to do. She wants to dodge and deflect. She wants health and she wants protection. How does that help me decide anything? Those are good stats for her. So I go here and I look and I see a health increase, a protection increase, mastery, damage. And then I say, okay, is this really going to put her over the top? Look at her dodge chance, you know? Well, she has foresight all the time. The damage doesn't go up by enough to make me really want to go for this. So no, I don't see where this character would ever get a Relic 8. I don't know. I'm going in circles. I'm a helicopter, and people are leaving. Darth Vader says most top-end guilds, including mine, are moving to a health build C to take on offensive built Rays. Okay, so building a bigger health pool for the specific purpose of tanking Ray's ultimate. Okay. I guess that's something you could do. That makes sense. So there you go. That's why the debate's wonderful, right? There's a reason to do it, and that, I guess, would be the reason. All right. Didn't you say Darth Vader benefits more from offense sets at relics because you put super fast speed mods on your R7 Vader on this recent mod clinic? Joey, it depends on what you're fighting with your Vader, right? If you're fighting, for example, if you're using your Vader as a counter to Galactic Legend teams, then you want offense. Because there's ways for a lot of teams to get critical avoidance. Some Rey teams use Chewbacca to give crit immunity to a couple members on the team and make it really annoying to try to deal with them. So if you build a crit build with Vader and you get stuck up against a bunch of characters that are doing crit immunity or reduced crit chance, his damage drops like a rock. So a lot of times, if you're using him as a Galactic Legend counter, if you're using him at higher galactic power, just getting his offense and potency maxed out is really where it's at. And then if you get a crit, you're happy with the crit, and it makes a big difference. But yeah, so like offense, potency, speed, and offense and potency sets. So this is what I've seen. This is what I've seen people recommend, not just me. But early game, if you're using Darth Vader just to kill Geos in GAC, then build him fast so that he goes first. That's my thing, right? So there was a couple matchups. I can't remember every matchup like off the top of my head, but there was a couple matchups in my last round of Grand Arenas and 3v3s where my Vader over on this account, he was like 249. And if I wanted to put him in just like him and Wat Tambor or him with the Emperor and only put in 2 characters, his speed wasn't enough to go first. So that's the issue that I was having. I wanted to take on some weaker teams, but you know, you fight a weak team with a guy that's got 296 speed, and suddenly your Vader can't get up over that speed. So that's why I wanted to put him, you know, 280 speed, so that no matter what, I can go first. That's the goal with Vader right now on this account. I just want to underman, and I want to be able to go fast to guarantee that I go first. Hope that makes sense. Okay. Question: how many Zetas do you need to max all of C's ability? 6. He's going to be my first GL. Yeah, 6 Zetas. 5 if you're Darth Loquitur. Well, that's not true. What are you talking about? C requires 6 Zetas. You guys are crazy. Look at this. Let's go over to the main account. Sith Emperor. 6. Right? What are you crazy people talking about? Look at this. 6. Now, Kylo only needs 5. Kylo only needs 5. Darth Loquitur, I'd love to see a video with your strategy principles that you use in Grand Arena and in general. Anything you've pulled from chess or arm wrestling, your work would be interesting. Actually, if you become a member over on the Patreon, I've got some videos over there on Patreon that are Grand Arena strategies. They're offense and defense and team building strategies, and I do intend to do more videos over there and keep that stuff going. But yeah, there's some more content over on Patreon that I haven't posted to YouTube and won't. Yeah. Nabokov says my C only has 5 and won't get 6. Darth Loquitur's SLK has 5 and won't get 6. SLKR has 5. Ew. Nabokov, which one are you not using for C? This one is mediocre for C. Dark side allies gain taunt. So if you already have a pre-taunt tank with him, or you're using, you know, a character group that doesn't necessarily need the tanks, then this Unraveled Destiny giving tanks taunt for a Zeta isn't really that big of a deal. I'm using mine with Triumvirate. I played around with him, and every now and then my guild wants me to put him on defense. I don't argue. I know he's not a great defensive character, but there's a reason why my guild leader tells me to put him on defense, and if I get told to do that, then I put him on defense with the set tank and the Triumvirate to make it a tough team on defense. So, yeah. So it's worth having the 6th one. Supreme Leader Kylo Ren. Buff immunity for 2 turns. If the target was stunned, deal damage again and gain advantage for 2 turns. So this gets a 3rd hit on your basic attack if the target is stunned. It works sometimes in Squad Arena. In raids, it doesn't help. There's just a lot of places where it just doesn't help. You're not going to be attacking a stunned target anyway. So for me, the amount of times that I'm attacking a stunned target with my basic, when you go into Arena, you're going to do usually the Brutal Assault first, then you do a Stasis Strike, Hux refreshes, you've got Brutal Assault again, Stasis Strike, or I'm sorry, you do the Stasis Strike first. This is the stun. I was on the wrong one. So you do the stun first, and then the sweep, and then you know, Hux refreshes your cooldowns, and you do those again, or whichever one got refreshed, and then you go into the alt, and then you do these again. And by the time you get around to a basic, it's already like, you know, 9 turns into the Squad Arena, and if you haven't won by then, or you have a clear advantage, then you're done. Against other Galactic Legends, they'll never be stunned. Raid bosses never get stunned. So yeah, it's just meh. Don't care. Don't find myself needing it. I see more people watching than lightsabers. Nice. Darth Vader says terrible on D and terrible suggestion. Oh, okay. SLKR on defense or C? SLKR isn't C, Joey. Yeah, no, I have been asked before to put my Sith Eternal on defense. Yep. And again, I'm not going to argue. If my guild wants me to put him on defense, then I put him on defense. There's a reason they're saying that. There's a certain amount of galactic power they want to build up in the Sith squads and whatever. So whether it's good or bad, I do what I'm told. In that way, I'm a good guild member. I'm a good follower. I'm giving my orders and I follow my orders. All right, so what other questions do we have that people want answered? Any questions about mod stuff? I put out another mod clinic this week and a bunch of people liked it. A couple people didn't like it. But overall seemed to be something that people still want to watch. So that's good. That's fun. What do you guys think? I mean, there was a comment in there that basically says you get so lucky on your account and it's setting, bad expectations for people because you've gotten so lucky with your speed rolls. Guys, I'm telling you, no word of a lie. I think every single mod that I have on this account, every single mod has been videoed and published on the internet. There is not a single mod on here that I've worked on behind the scenes. So everything. And you've seen week after week after week where I'm going through like 140 mods and selling off 120 of them and get a few good ones and then, get one really good slice or something like that, or one or two. Do you guys think that I'm getting inordinately lucky? Or does it seem like statistically I've touched enough mods to get what I deserve, or deserve what I have, or however you want to put it? So here we've got a 27 speed mod, 24, 23, 23, 23, 23. So I got a lot of 23s, but that's it. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This one's not finished, right? I have six mods that are 5 speed rolls. And 1, 2, 3. Oh, that one's 5 speed rolls, but it's only 21. So 7. I've got 8 mods. 8 mods that have 5 speed rolls on them. Am I doing better than I deserve? Why do you farm so many speed mods? I mean, yeah. Sorry if I misheard. I'm listening to this in government conference. Feels like it would be better to farm mods based on characters' needs. The answer is, Joey, I can do anything I want with speed mods. I have the philosophy that I can put a speed set on just about any character and I'm fine. The advantage that I get for putting an offense set on over a speed set is minimal. And I have farmed some offense sets, but more or less I farm a ton of speed because it's universal. You can be just about any character is okay with speed mods. All right. Agreed with 95% of what you said in that video with regards to good versus bad stats. That's nonsense. Some just forget the bad one. Discipline and being principled about farming and slicing. RNG will come around. The videos are constant reminders. Thomas thinks definitely above average, lucky but nothing crazy. I think you're lucky to have high rolls and not 3s. But you've seen me sell off a lot of 3s though too, guys. You've seen me sell off a lot of those. Like, I'll get a mod that has a 3 hit and a 4 hit and it's 7 speed, and you'll watch me sell it. Because if it only gets 2 hits and it's only at 7 speed, I'm not gonna bring it up to here and relic it, 6 dot it and be slicing on a mod that, you know, already would have 2 or 3 bad hits. But yeah, we did get this one that, I mean, it only got 20. So if we got 20, that's an average of 4 minus 1. So this is literally like 4 4s and a 3. This mod. And then the extra +1 from getting the 6 dot. So this is pretty trash rolls. But I've only got one that's that bad. This one's 21, and the rest of them are pretty good. Swigo Dude says, can I see your roster? You can see, well, not really. You can see my favorites. We can go over here to squads, I guess. Show you my squads. So we've got Geos. We've got Padme. We've got this fun little bounty hunter team. We've got the Sith wall that's getting ready to be built. That Dooku is going to be the last brick that we need to make this work, and then I got to invest a little more in Kylo, and we're going to have a team there. We've got Phoenix, Mon Mothma, little baby Mon Mothma team here, and then over here we've got the troopers, Mad Troopers, Jedi, and the Empire. That's the roster, and then miscellaneous stuff. All right. It's because you speed up all the garbage mods that they don't remember. I do. I fast forward that at literally like 1200 speed because I don't want you to have to watch me throw away 120 mods. I think it's boring. Yeah, so. Looking forward to the Senator build. Is it still planned for Monday? Yeah, we got a 3-day weekend, so I think I'll finish up the PowerPoint on the weekend, be able to do the video, and I'm hoping to have that out. I'll probably have to have one last round of discussion with the Dark Council, make sure that they agree that the build path is kind of not lacking or missing the point. All right. There was one other question that somebody asked that I think was okay to answer in the stream. They said, if I'm building Geos, why would I, in the Gladiator path, why would I build Jedi Knight Revan instead of Padme? Because I've already got the Geos to unlock Padme. They're very different teams. They do different things and for different reasons. And if I'm building a Jedi Knight Revan team, I can already use Ahsoka and Anakin as Jedi that will be fine on that team. And I don't have to wait for the Kenobi to build up and all that stuff. If you build Padme, then you're going to need the Ahsoka and the Anakin over there. So the reason why I wouldn't build a Padme is just simply because you're pulling the same resources. Now, if you want to build a Padme and just have a Padme, and then make a 3-man Jedi squad and a 3-man Padme squad for Grand Arena, you could do that just fine. Pull the Anakin and the Ahsoka one way, and then pull like Grandmaster Yoda and Kenobi over to the JKR. So you could definitely do both. But that's why I don't recommend the Padme, because it's a similar team to the Jedi, and it pulls from the same resources. And you might as well just build the JKR in that case. Nick Wilson says, well, how do you feel about purchasing mods from shipments? Oh, did I miss a chat? Kai says, do you purchase high potential mods from shipments? Yes. Finally caught a stream. Why don't you run Piet with troopers? Huh? Oh. Is that a question for somebody else? Okay. I usually do run Piet with troopers. Usually do. Piet's in this Empire build here, but he's also in the troopers. So he can go. This is my offensive teams, right? So this Vader team, you basically pick it, and then you start eliminating characters. And typically you only need Palpatine, Vader, and Wat Tambor. So you pick this team, and then those two guys are out. You don't need them anyway. And then you just kill something with this. So yeah, no, Piet goes with the troopers. Alright, so let's answer the question about mods in the store. The answer to that is yes. I do buy mods out of the mod store. But it is pretty rare. It's pretty rare. Even on my main account. If you find a mod in here that has 3 good stats and 5 speed, for example, it could be worth buying. So let's say you had this mod, potency, offense, health, and let's say this last stat right here was 5 speed. Would you buy that? I might. You know, I might buy it. I might buy it on my main account. On my Loquitur account, honestly, I think in the entire time that I've been working this Loquitur account, like 7 months now, I may have bought 2 mods out of here. Maybe. It's just pretty rare. Because you buy them, and you have no better chance to hit speed than you do on a mod that you built manually, right? This is a lot of currency. This is a lot of currency to spend. So they really have to be good. It has to be 4 out of 4 good stats. I'm not going to buy something with 3 out of 4 good stats and pray, right? And maybe I should be more aggressive about it. Maybe I should just buy more mods out of here and increase my inventory of mods that start with speed. But yeah, I'm pretty picky about that. I buy more of them on my main account, but again, I've only got 9 million credits. Throwing away 4 million out of them on a mod, that would have to be a really good mod. Have to be a really good mod. It's not wrong. So if you go in there and you decide that you have the currency to buy it, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying, you know, stay away from that store, don't use it. If you're in the first 3 months of playing the game, absolutely ignore that store. You do not want to use any of your credits that early in the game. Yeah. Even 4 or 5 months in, you probably don't want to. Once you get above 1 million galactic power, though, you're probably okay to spend some credits if you want to. Up to you guys. See how it works for you. All right. How many stars does Plo ship need to be usable with the negotiator fleet? I mean, to be able to use it, I don't. I think this. I think being able to do. Here's the thing, you really want all 3 levels of this ability. That's based on the level of your ship, not the stars, right? So if you've got a ship that's high enough level, yeah, this isn't. Maybe somebody else can answer that. If this is, I'm pretty sure it's based on level. I mean, I'm blanking right now, but yeah, just having a Plo with all of that built up, and then, you know, the more turn meter that you can gain from this. Yeah. So that's what I'm going to say. In order to make Plo useful for a negotiator fleet, you want Plo to be high enough gear level to get at least this, so that you've got at least the 35% turn meter gain. Yeah, you need at least the 35% turn meter gain, and you need to have level 3 here. Stars on the ship aren't important, but that's important. That's important. Bring him in, hit the turn meter, then you don't care if he dies. All right. Let's see. What are your thoughts on 6-dotting a mod that might not deserve it for a pilot? I play the long game. I don't 6-dot mods that don't deserve it. I really don't. Because you always have mods that are good enough to 6-dot. You should always have mods that are good enough to 6-dot. Right? So if I wanted to 6-dot a mod right now and I said, okay, I have some materials. What is it that I'm going to 6-dot? So you can come in here and you can sort it by speed and you can say, okay, I want to look at speed and I want to look at mods that might get 6-dot. Is that good enough to 6-dot? 1 bad stat, 2 good stats, 4 rolls in speed. I'd slice that to 6-dot right now. I can't because it's on a character that won't allow me to slice it that way. But you know what I'm saying? So there's always mods that deserve to go to 6-dot. If you've got a good mod inventory, for sure. Let's just pick another one. That one, I mean, you could even 6-dot a mod like this, right? It's already got the speed finished, but to get 20% defense, better stats down here, 22 speed, you could slice that mod. Yeah. So just going in and saying, okay, this mod isn't good enough to... Well, this mod is definitely good enough to slice. I'm picking all good ones. Let's see if we got one that's mediocre here somewhere. Let's go down a little further. Okay, so let's pick something like this. It's a triangle with defense on it, protection, garbage stats. This is pretty trash, right? But you're saying, okay, should I 6-dot this mod just to have a 6-dot mod on a pilot? My answer to that is going to be absolutely not. You know, you're going to wait till you 6-dot a useful mod. For sure. All right. Let's see. All right. Looking for more questions to see. Oh, so the Dude Abides answered that question as well. I went for both Padme and JKR right at 85 since I had the Geos, and had been working for the Revan prerequisites. What I found is that I could never spare gear to adequately gear up the Padme team, not to mention the Zetas, since JKR, DR, and Padme are all Zeta-hungry teams. While Padme is a better team than JKR, once you get Darth Revan with Malik, it's a whole new ball game, so focusing your effort toward the end goal is a better idea without spreading your resources too thin. Dude, that's a awesome way to put that. Yeah. That's good. I think you said it better than I did. But yeah, it's just about resource management. Okay. Alrighty. I think we're probably going to wrap up the stream there. We've been just chilling for about 2 hours now. I don't see any more questions coming through on the live chat. So, oh, here's another one. Why are percentage stats better than flat stats? Wouldn't a mix be better? Okay, I'll answer that question here. And again, I'm going to answer this question from my point of view, and I can't communicate to all you guys, all my background, why it is that I think this way, but here's what it comes down to. When I'm looking at a mod, I don't care at all to go into my roster and find this Gear 11 Jango Fett and figure out what the optimal stats are for Jango Fett. Because you might find that at Gear 11 for Jango Fett, because he has trash defense and not enough protection, that flat protection stat is really good. Or maybe, flat health might be really good because look, he's kind of got low health, right? 13,000 health. So maybe you say flat health is really good for this guy. I'm not interested. I don't care. I don't care what mods I put on that character. They're only placeholders. Here's the characters that I care about. These guys with the colored borders, right? These are the characters that I'm trying to mod. And the mods that I'm building are for more characters that are going to be reliced. Now, if we look at a relic character and we say the same thing, we say, okay, just Tarkin, right? Now let's go look at flat health. Well, that flat health is looking really useless. He's already got 41,000 health. And that, 900 health that we could get over here is like, a really low percentage. Whereas percent-based health is going to give him, percents of 41,000. So that's it. That's the reason why I don't like flat stats, is just because at relic level, once you start looking at these relic 5 characters, the flat stats for health and protection, they just don't do anything, And armor, relic level really takes characters' armor up. So you see 47% on Snowtrooper, who's an offensive character. And then we go down here and we pick a character like Poggle, who's not reliced yet, and you look at his armor, it's like 7% or something, 22%. So it's more than double the armor. And now your defense percent stats really start kicking in at relic level. So that's it. The flat stats are not bad for characters down here, but the game moved on. And it's now a game of relic characters, and at relic levels, the flat stats just don't hold up. So that's it. That's my logic. So yeah, if you decide that you're never going to take your Bastila Shan past Gear 10, and you feel like it would really be good to optimize her mods, then by all means, take a look at some flat stats. Right? And flat protection stat, you can get a gob of flat protection, right? 600 flat protection here on this mod. So for, let's say you got several rolls in that, you could get like 1800 flat protection. So it's not horrible for low-level characters. But those aren't mods I'm going to work on, because they're not mods I'm going to 6-dot. I'm going to relic a character, put a mod on him, 6-dot it, keep working on it. Those got to be percent stats. All right, I'm repeating myself. I got to stop. Brendan says, late to the game, thanks for all the time you put into the detailed and well thought out advice. Hey, no problem, man. No problem. I'm glad it's helping people. And don't worry, I make plenty of mistakes in my videos too and have to go back and correct things. So it's well thought out content, but there's always people out there that are thinking more than me. Curious if you have thoughts on sandbagging your GP ahead of a GAC, essentially saving up a ton of resources until after your Osterlocks. So I've said this before. I did that on my main account. I sandbagged every single time and always took like one more month. And then when I went from Division 4 to Division 3 on the old divisions, I messed it up. And I went straight into Division 3 before I was ready, like all the way at the bottom end of Division 3. And I killed it. Like, I crushed that round of Grand Arena. I got easy matchups. And I was like, man, maybe if you sandbag like that, that Grand Arena round, it's going to match you up against all the other tryhards that are sandbagging. And that's what you get. If you slide in at the bottom end, then you get matched up against people who are at the bottom end. And generally, those are the people that don't care if they win or lose. They're not paying any attention to their galactic power at all. And I did well. And the same thing happened when I went from 3 to 2. I did it intentionally, slid right in at the bottom of Division 2, and it was the same thing. I think that was my undefeated Grand Arena round on my main account when I was at the bottom of Division 2. So I don't think that sandbagging helps you that much. I'm considering sandbagging this account one round because I'm afraid of facing Galactic Legends in Division 9 with the changes now. So now that they've changed... Oh, wow, look at that. I didn't even notice that, guys. Look. I ended up ranked 35. That's pretty good. I don't know. What happened? I remember looking at this and I was like 54. Huh. I guess I must have completed a quest without realizing it or something. That's cool. All right. So now that they've got Division 9 going from 1.6 to 2.3, you know, I could reasonably face a Galactic Legend in this. So I'm kind of afraid to take that jump until I get my Galactic Legend, but I have to, right? So I think in the end, I'm just going to build my Galactic power normally, go into the next division normally, and whatever matchups I get will be what I get. And we'll see how that works out. So I've seen it on both sides. I've seen where I've thought sandbagging was a good thing. I've seen it where sliding in on the next level turned out to be a better thing. But, you know, I have 2 data points. And that certainly doesn't make a trend. It's just 2 data points. That's all I've got. All right. Question about your Techno Union guide. Is that supposed to follow your beginner guide in teams or replace it? It's an add-on. It's an add-on. So the beginner's guide is how you start. And then, you know, around level 60 or so, you're starting to get into fleets. You're starting to get some of your characters to, you know, 5 and 6 stars. You're looking for your next set of farms, trying to figure out what direction it is you're going to go. That's when you pull in the Techno Union and you say, okay, we're farming Veers, we're farming all of this stuff. You're still farming Phoenix to 7 stars. You're still farming Geos. In the Techno Union build, you're not as worried about your Jedi. You're not as worried about your Empire. You're building up those tags just to compete in events. You're not going to ignore them. But yeah, it's you still build the Geos. You still do that for fleet. And it means that your troopers are going to take longer to build because you're putting resources into the Geos. But the troopers don't have a fleet. If the troopers had a fleet, then, you know, you could ignore that whole part of it and build a trooper fleet. But yeah, it's an add-on. So you start with the beginner's guide and you do that, and then you do the Techno Union on top of it. Hope that makes sense. All right. I'm not a big fan of the Phoenix team as a new player with the hyperdrive bundle. Will it be okay if I don't level them up? My answer to that is no, it will not be okay. Pay the price, do your Phoenix, get him to 7 stars, get your Thrawn, hold your nose while you do it. It's just like relicking a Rose Tico or something like that. It's something that you have to do in the game, even though you don't like it. I said it earlier, I didn't do it on the Loquitur account. If I had to do it over again, for sure I would build Phoenix. For sure. Nick Wilson says that I'm in Division 9 and haven't seen 1 GL yet. It all depends on the way your account is built, right? So my account is built exactly in the way that you would rush a Galactic Legend, right? I'm top heavy with all these big relic characters. And so the matchmaking is going to look at my account, and if I get up to like 12 relic characters, which I will, it's going to look at that and say, okay, that's got the same galactic power as an account with a Galactic Legend. If you've got a 1.9 million galactic power, but you've only got 5 relics, you will never in your life get paired up against a Galactic Legend, because those guys, you know, have 13 or 16 or a lot of relics, right? But because I'm building all these relics, my account looks to the matchmaking device just like an account that has a GL. All right. Nick Wilson, off topic. My wife and I are looking for a new show to binge on. We've already done a lot of them Disney Marvel shows. Do you have any suggestions? Oh man, I've got tons of suggestions. Nick Wilson, watch Queen's Gambit. I don't care if you like chess. It is a phenomenally done movie series. If you have, I think it's on Prime. series on Bosch, Detective Bosch, Harry Bosch, and that's based on a bunch of books by Michael Connelly. And again, it's one of those series that if you start watching it, you will binge. There's another one, if you haven't seen Ozark. Ozark is another one of those that it's just you watch the first episode and you're like, okay, whatever. You watch the second episode and then you're up at like 3 o'clock in the morning watching the 9th episode going, I can't go to sleep. I'm going to find out what happens next. So there you go. There's 3 recommendations. Ozark, Bosch, and The Queen's Gambit. Some good binge watches. All right. So Heath is asking some questions here. How fast should he be also? Hey Loquitur, can you show your Anakin mods? I just Relic 7'd mine and wonder the best way to mod and how fast should he be also. So Anakin doesn't have to be fast. Where have I got mine? I've got mine pretty quick. Speed 271. And that's because I'm trying to develop an offense set with good speed, and this is the best character to develop that on. So eventually these speed mods will most likely move to a character like Vader, okay? But they're on Anakin for now. So you want to do one of 2 things with Anakin. You want to make him fast enough that he goes fast, like, 270, 290, something like that, so that he'll take his first turn before the opponent. And that way when they go, if they trigger his extra turn, so he'll have taken a turn, and then his extra turn really triggers an extra turn. The other way to mod him is to totally ignore speed and just make him like crit chance, crit damage, offense down here, crit damage here, offense on the arrow. I like potency on the cross, but skip the potency and put offense there. Just make him hit like a freight train. And don't worry about his speed. And just let something trigger his turns, and then he just one-shots the whole enemy team. Both ways are very viable to build him. Putting him somewhere in the middle where he's got some speed and not enough offense is the worst of both worlds. So either make him fast enough that he gets to go quickly and then trigger turns, or just make him hit like a freight train and just rely on the enemy to make him mad. All right. Also, because you're putting Anakin on a Padme team, you do want to pay attention to stuff like this, where you build health and you do a health set. You really got to try to get health everywhere you can on a Padme team. So as long as he's in Padme's team and not like in a Jedi team or something like that, in a Jedi team you mod him a little differently. You just go for like offense and potency or something like that. In the Padme team, though, you definitely want the health as the off stats. All right. Joey the Goat says, there's so many Anakins I know that are 271. Don't know what it is. 271 seems to be the speed, huh? That's funny. That's weird how you see those trends sometimes, right? Mine is 250, says Nabokov. That's cool. I wonder what mine is on my main account. I don't remod these characters that often, so I put a good set on him and then kind of don't look at him for a long time. I don't know where Anakin's at on my main. Let's take a look here. 258. But he's set up for pretty good damage. 8,900. Potency here. Oh, no, he's got the offense, crit damage, and the offense on the arrow. So, yeah, we built him for tons of offense. I could swear I fixed this on stream one time, that he didn't have a potency cross. I like a potency cross. Maybe I just don't have one. Let's look and just see real quick. If we got any spare potency crosses that could fit. There we got one. Crit chance, defense, offense, 10 speed, lose a little speed. Yeah. We should do that. We should get potency back on this guy. If that had 3 speed hits, I would 6-dot it, but I don't really want to 6-dot that mod. Got more slicing materials. We could hit a slice on something. Alright. He works better in a Padme team because of the buff display. Yeah. He definitely works better in a Padme team than a Jedi team. You gotta add 13 more speed on that Anakin. Oh, what happened? Oh, to get him to 271. I imagine that's what he wanted, to get him to 271. Ooh. Relic 8 K2SO. Look at that protection. Look at that. Oh, man. Ugh. I'm not really going to relegate K2SO. I'm doing that just to see if I can make Vader flip out. He's probably twitching right now. If he's still watching, like his eyes blinking, he's like, don't do it. It was a question on Swiggle events because of a feature request. If you could add a mod set, primary or secondary, what would you add? What are K2's mastery stats, says Nabokov? It was a question on Swiggle events. If you could add a mod set, what would you add? Let's just take a look at a character here and think this through before I answer that. I played a game one time that had runes or something here, and one of the stats that they had was your basic attack damage. So instead of getting percent damage or damage across the board or something like that, you could get a mod stat that just gave you added basic damage. And then there was characters that did like 4 basic attacks. And on characters like that, the basic attack damage stat would affect every instance of those 4 things. There was also like 1 or 2 characters, if I remember correctly, that had area effect basic attacks. And one of them was this like common as snot character, easy to get, free to play kind of thing. It had an area effect basic attack. And if you just stacked that basic attack stat, it was like a galactic legend level character. And all you ever did was just do the basic. And it would just do sickening amounts of damage every time you did it. So yeah, I think the mod set that I would add would be basic damage, where you could just come in here and mod a character specifically to increase the damage on the basic attack, where it would be a huge bonus, right? Like, so instead of offense that gives you 15% offense. Man, I'm so bad at this. Like I forget these stat bonuses. It's 15%, right? Yeah, 15% offense. So maybe it would be like 50% basic attack. And then things like the Dark Trooper, right? You would never put any mod set that was different on a Dark Trooper. You would just flex his basic attack and leave the rest of his kit garbage. I really wanted to see armor, but I prefer health steal. Health steal is so low on a lot of things, it's tragic. What if you could do dodge? Right? Because dodge is such a stupid skill in this game. It doesn't happen, and then when it does, it's game breaking. It's like, ugh. And you never use accuracy for anything. It's just like a throwaway stat. So what if you could have like a dodge set? Just have a dodge set. And maybe dodge could be a thing. There's games that do evasion tanking that are specifically built around dodge builds. There's a game that I played that I know that was the case, that because I built a couple of them. I built a couple evasion tanks. What do you think of that? Dodge set. Build dodge. Dodge would be so annoying, but I thought about it too. No, that would be so annoying. Nick Wilson says, gotta love those random dodges. Yeah, so the cool thing about the dodge stuff, though, like I said, I played a game where there was evasion tanking. It was a thing. You just build up your dodge and you do evasion tanking. When you know that that's the case, you just have to build some accuracy. You just occasionally have to put an accuracy arrow on a character to make sure that they hit, you know? And then that becomes, well, I've got a team of 5 and they all have accuracy and they all have accuracy arrows. And if I ever face a team that's a dodge-based team, I click on my GAC and I looked at my opponent is playing this dodge team, I play my accuracy team. I've got a counter for it, you know? Giddy up, let's go. It actually becomes less annoying because the random dodges are then something that you have to play for. You have to give up a speed set. You have to give up an offense set. You have to give up some kind of something to get the dodge. And then you just play against it. Imagine a triple dodge modded Malik. Stun him. Once he's stunned, he can't dodge. And that's it. He's pretty hard to stun, though. Pretty hard to stun. I'd rather have speed arrows because it's less RNG. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I agree. The RNG can sometimes be frustrating. They get the dodge just at the right time. But, yeah. I don't know. Defense penetration, that's a good one. You know? Armor pen, I think, is a valid thing. Health steal, I don't like. I think some characters in this game could be sickeningly overpowered. If you allow health steal to ramp on tanky characters, it can get out of control. So I don't like health steal. I don't want that on a mod. Defense penetration, though, that would be fun. There's some characters that could really use a little bit of defense pen. Defense penetration is such an underrated buff. Yeah, it is. On my Mon Mothma team, when you get that second level on that trooper, and he puts up that defense penetration buff, like this rebel trooper here, when he gets to that second level, and they gain the defense penetration for 2 turns, the amount of damage that they put out changes. This thing is like flipping a switch. That defense pen skill puts so much more punch behind this team. But I mean, it's like, what is it? 7.5 days of playtime before she actually levels that guy. This thing has a 5-turn cooldown, and when you're actually playing in a matchup, you use this skill first, and waiting for her 6th turn is really a long time. It's really a long time. So yeah, you don't really get that ever unless you're playing in a matchup against another sustained team. But when it comes up, it's a big deal. That'd be pretty cool. Oh, Nabokov, I'm not going to talk about the Relic thing anymore on stream, buddy. I'm not. We're just going to have to talk about it some other time online. You're going to have to explain it to me in small words. Explain it to me like I'm a kindergartner. Because I don't get it. The boat left and I was not on the boat. All right. What Swiggle content creator would you want to do a collab video with besides AP Gains? Nick, I want to do a collab with like everybody. My problem is time. I go to work. I come home from work. I got family stuff. I got a second business on the side that I do, and I run out of time. And the Star Wars guy and I have been chatting back and forth for like 2 months now. And every time I think I'm going to have some spare time, he doesn't, or he has spare time and I don't. And so we never get together. But I would collab with just about anybody. I think I would love to have Zareth just come over to my channel and teach me how to play. Like out of all the content creators, I don't know why, but Zareth just, like, he strikes me as a better version of myself. Like, if I play this game for another 4 years, I'll be like Zareth, maybe. So I got mad respect for that guy because he thinks like I do, but better. He's just better. So I would love to do a video where Zareth just coaches me on how to use Rey and CLS and like explains to me how to make the most effect out of these teams. That's probably what I would want to do the most. Zareth is amazing. Yeah, I agree. He really understands how all the tunes interact. Jimmy, that is it. That is it. Like he's I swear to God, he's played like every match against every match, and he's practiced so much stuff that I've never seen. He has such a good understanding of all the characters, kits, and interactions. Perfect. That's the perfect way of saying it. Yeah. I've always enjoyed Warrior's video. I'd love to pick his brain sometimes. Yeah, there's just so many cool people out there. Yeah, absolutely. People always ask me if I'm going to do a collab with Arnold, and I always say, well, you know, if he ever notices me, we'll see. I mean, I'd do a collab with anybody. I'd do a collab with anybody. I'd do a collab with Gotham Chess. I would do a collab with, you know, Devin Larratt or Coach Ray or somebody like that. I mean, there's a lot of guys out there. I just nothing to do with Swiggle. I would do a video with them if they ever agreed to. Yeah, that's the problem. The problem is me. I don't get out there and look for it and make time for it, and that's it. The only thing holding me back is me. He thinks you're a lawyer in the GA Science video. Yeah, because my name is a part of a legal term, res ipsa loquitur. Yeah. Res ipsa loquitur is a legal term, so when he saw that, he thought, oh, maybe he's a lawyer. We'll see. The guy from the playbook is pretty amazing and in-depth as well. Yeah. Yeah, those guys are good. And the guys from the Escape podcast, I mean, if you've ever watched their podcast stuff, that's some pretty good content as well. Alrighty, guys. Well, I am going to get going. We've been on for, 2.5 hours already? We're winding down here. So, chill stream number 5 coming to a close. Got to play my stuff for the day and get ready for bed and whatnot. Thank you all for your time. Appreciate all the questions. Hope that was entertaining or fun, at least for the people who got to see it. So, thank you all. Remember to subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the like button on your way through the door. And I will see you in the next holocron.